Welcome back. Florida is recovering this morning after a devastating Category 4 hurricane hit the state on Wednesday. State officials say that there are at least 47 people dead, with many more unaccounted for. One of the hardest hit areas is the Southwest Florida region, where Fort Myers and Cape Coral suffered the brunt of the storm's impact. Joining me right now is Republican Congressman Byron Donalds. He represents Florida's 19th district, which includes both Fort Myers and Cape Coral. Donald sits on both the House Budget and House Oversight and Reform Committees. And Congressman, our thoughts and love and support go to you and your family, friends, and constituents this morning. How are you doing?
Listen, first of all, Maria, thanks so much for your thoughts for our region. I mean, look, we're devastated here. Fort Myers Beach, which is one of the large tourist destinations in the country, has just been obliterated. It looks like they fought a war on Fort Myers Beach. That's what the storm did to that area. Many structures have been completely blown out, washed out. There's debris everywhere. Sanibel Island has been completely destroyed. Some of the structures are still standing, but the water damage, the storm surge has blown out first floor and even second floors on so many areas of the island. Pine Island, home to 20,000 people during season here. There's still about 2,000 to 4,000 people on Pine Island right now. We're trying to get them resources immediately from FEMA so that they can at least survive the next couple of days. Their bridge is completely washed out. And then Cape Coral is just completely out of power. Their telephone poles have just been snapped all over the island. We were able to restore emergency power to the hospital yesterday with the hard work of LCEC and our local government there.
Unbelievable. Congressman, do you feel you have the resources that you need? I know that FEMA has been talked about in terms of, questioned whether or not you actually have the resources there. The insurance industry was already troubled before this storm. Do you have a cost estimate on what this is going to mean?
We don't have a cost estimate yet, but just on my own back of the napkin math, I mean, we're going to be well over $5 billion. It's going to be higher than that, but we don't have a cost estimate yet. In terms of resources, I actually do think we have the resources. I have to give real credit, full credit to Governor DeSantis, Kevin Guthrie, and his team, working with FEMA, working with the White House prior to the storm touching down to make sure that assets were pre-positioned. I mean, once they kind of got in the mode of being ready, then it was easier to come into the area once the storm passed. But I think it's important for people to understand this storm was not just a wind event. It brought storm surge anywhere from 4 feet to 16 feet of just storm surge through our area. And so structures in South Florida are actually constructed now to deal with heavy winds. But the flooding is one of the things that the flash flooding is the thing that you just really can't wrap your arms around until it happens. And that's what we're dealing with here in Southwest Florida.
Well, I mean, thank you for your leadership, the governor as well. Unfortunately, the vice president was asked about supporting and aiding what has taken place here, and she went right to politics, race, and equity. Watch Vice President Kamala Harris here. Here she is.
We have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work.
I mean, she got applause. Is she serious? I'm speechless.
Listen, I couldn't disagree more with the vice president. Now is not the time to be talking about who gets what based upon where you started. It's about helping people, making sure they get the resources they need as quickly as possible, helping them recover as quickly as possible. That's what matters. That other stuff can wait for another day. Obviously, we're going to have elections about that stuff in about a month or so. But right now, it's about getting aid to people and getting the recovery process started here in Southwest Florida. I don't know what she's talking about. Frankly, I just shook my head through that entire comment.
What are your thoughts about the upcoming election and what people are going to be voting on? The inflation story, of course, is one issue. And the constant spending, this student loan giveaway plan is now estimated to cost between $500 billion and $1 trillion, Congressman. We just spoke with Mike Turner, who said at the end of the year, the Democrats are going to have a wild west of spending because they're going to lose the majority and they're going to know that this is their last effort to get jammed through as much as they can. What do you think?
I agree with my colleague about what he said the lame duck session is going to look like. And it's unfortunate because what you have right here, obviously, where I represent, is where real need is. And I think the American people, whether they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, they will have no problem spending resources to get people back on their feet. That's what Americans do when Americans are struggling. This other reckless spending that the White House and the Democrats want to engage in, to me, is insane. We don't have the money. And so what we need to do is get focused on fiscal discipline so that when disaster strikes, we have the resources to address it and still keep the rest of the country running rapidly and not having to deal with rapid inflation. I think that's what the midterms will be about. But right now, my focus, first, second, and third, is the recovery of Southwest Florida.
Of course, Congressman. And how long do you think that recovery will take? What are your thoughts?
Well, listen, to be blunt, I think in some areas it's going to be 2 years of recovery. 2 years, 3 years. I mean, we have a lot of legacy buildings that have been here for quite some time. You know, they've really become, you know, points of interest for people to travel to. All of that needs to be rebuilt. We had new structures that were in the process of being rebuilt. That's been wiped out. And then we have some serious infrastructure issues that are going to have to be rebuilt as well. So I think to restore Southwest Florida, we're going to move as quickly as we can. But in some parts, it's going to be a couple of years before it's fully rebuilt.
Congressman, our thoughts and prayers are with you and Floridians this morning. Thanks very much, sir.
Thank you.
Congressman Byron Donalds this morning in Florida.